Today we're going to be making vanilla bean scones with a vanilla bean glaze. For the scones you'll need all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, baking powder, kosher salt, heavy cream, vanilla beans, an egg, and of course, butter. For the glaze you'll need powdered sugar, whole milk, and a vanilla bean. We're going to start by making the dough for the scone. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Split the vanilla bean down the middle lengthwise and use the back side of a knife to scrape the insides of the bean into 1 cup of heavy cream. In a large mixing bowl, add 3 cups all-purpose flour, a 1/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons granulated sugar, 5 teaspoons baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon kosher salt. Stir and sift together all the dry ingredients into a separate bowl. Cube 12 ounces or 1½ sticks of unsalted butter. It's important that the butter is very cold. Toss the cube butter into the dry ingredients and use your hands to break up the pieces that have stuck together. Place it in the freezer for a minimum of 10 minutes. Once the butter is ice cold, cut it into the flour using a fork or a pastry cutter. Keep going until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs. Return the mixture to the freezer as we prepare the wet ingredients. At this point, our heavy cream and vanilla bean have been marinating for 10 to 15 minutes. Give it a stir and run it through a sieve to remove any of the pod pieces. Add an egg and whisk to combine. Remove the dry ingredients from the freezer and add in the wet ingredients. Stir until just combined. Depending on the type of flour you're using and the temperature of your environment, you may need to add more heavy cream. Do this 1 tablespoon at a time until the dough begins to clump together. Once all the dry ingredients have been absorbed, scoop the dough onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I'm using a number 10 scoop here. Thoroughly brush each scone with a basic egg wash, which is 1 whole egg and 2 tablespoons heavy cream whisked together. Place the scones in a 350-degree oven and bake for 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown and bake through completely. While the scones are baking, we'll prepare the vanilla bean glaze. As we did with the scone, we'll start by splitting a vanilla bean down the middle lengthwise and adding it to ½ cup of milk. Measure out 5 cups of powdered sugar into a large bowl. Add the milk and vanilla bean mixture to the powdered sugar by pouring through a sieve. Thoroughly whisk the mixture until all the powdered sugar is absorbed and the glaze takes on the consistency of honey. Once the scones are golden brown and cooked through thoroughly, remove from the oven and allow to cool for 5 to 10 minutes. While the scones are still warm, transfer them to a wire rack atop a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Immediately, while the scones are still warm, generously cover with the vanilla bean glaze. These scones have the perfect texture, are slightly sweet, packed full with vanilla flavor, and pair perfectly with a cup of coffee.